assets that make me wealthy. I respect my abilities to generate wealth. I am living the life of my wealthy dreams. The universe has chosen me to be wealthy so that I can help others with my wealth. I believe anyone can be wealthy, and that includes me. I recognize and embrace wealth-building opportunities. Every day is a wealthy day. If others can be wealthy, so can I. I am always immersed in wealth. I am passionate about building wealth. I see myself as wealthy, and that's who I am. Wealth is my birthright, and I claim wealth for myself now. Through my power of intention, I effortlessly attract all the wealth I desire and need. Great wealth is flowing to me now. I create wealth easily and effortlessly. I dissolve all false messages around creating wealth. I believe anyone can be wealthy, and that includes me. I have a wealth of valuable skills and talents. My wealth situation improves every second of every day. I see myself as wealthy, and that's who I am. I choose wealth and abundance. My wealth derives from honesty in everything I do. Wealth is my birthright, my natural state of being. All my issues with wealth have disappeared. I am wealthy. Whatever I do, it always ends in amassing wealth. Every day, in every way, my wealth is increasing. I am gracious for the wealth I have in my life. Being wealthy gives me joy, happiness, and peace of mind. I realize that I can help others with my wealth, so I stay wealthy. I allow my passions to perpetuate good in the world through my wealth. Wealth is a positive expression of divine energy. I release all negativity around building wealth. I release all opposition to wealth. I have the wealth to be successful. I am prosperous, wealthy, and happy. I am easily attracting all the wealth that I desire into my life. Prosperity and abundance comes to me easily and effortlessly. It is easy for me to become prosperous. I am worthy to have abundance and prosperity. I am a magnet to prosperity and abundance. All the wealth I have brings me joy. I receive prosperity just by thinking luxuriously. I will always have more than enough wealth and prosperity. I am attracting financial prosperity. I am and will always be prosperous. I deserve to prosper. I know that the world is prosperous. It is so easy for me to open to prosperity. My net worth is always increasing. My wealth is increasing regularly, making me prosperous. The whole universe is conspiring to make me prosperous. I am thankful for the prosperity in my life. I am prosperous. Prosperity is my birthright. My life is prosperous. Prosperity is mine. I give generously to others and myself. I see prosperity everywhere. I attract prosperity like a powerful magnet. I give thanks for the prosperity which is mine. Wealth and prosperity are circulating in my life. My circumstances are changing, and prosperity is flowing into my life. I create prosperity in my life. I notice prosperity all around me. Prosperity is mine, and I choose to live it. I create prosperity easily and effortlessly. Prosperity is within me. Prosperity is around me. I enjoy my prosperity and share it freely with the world. All resistance to prosperity has dissolved in total grace. My prosperity is unlimited. My success is unlimited now. I was prosperous, am prosperous, and will always be prosperous. I always have whatever I need. The universe takes good care of me. My life is full of love and joy and all the material things that I need. Prosperity within me, prosperity around me. I allow all good things to come into my life and I enjoy them. I let go of all resistance to prosperity and it comes to me naturally. Prosperity surrounds me, prosperity fills me, and prosperity flows to me and through me. I am a magnet for money. Prosperity of every kind is drawn to me. I move from poverty thinking to prosperity thinking, and my finances reflect this change. I now draw from the abundance of the spheres my immediate and endless supply. All channels are free.
Good morning. Good morning, good morning. I think we have a guest. Look, who's here? Diana, say hello. No? Okay, so how is everybody feeling today?
Good morning.
Pretty good. Good morning. I had some crazy dreams, but doing good.
Crazy as in negative?
More like adventures. One thing that was really funny, sometimes I sleep with my crystal in my hand when I want to do some special connecting, and part of my dream was I was eating, and I woke up, I almost bit my crystal. It was really funny. I said, okay, it's time to go have breakfast.
Oh, wow. Oh my goodness.
So doing things while sleeping, it's cool.
Yeah. My sister, we found her sleepwalking, and one night my mother said she got up, she went outside, opened the front door, rang the bell, closed the door, and went back to bed. I thought that was funny.
Wow.
Interesting, right? But it's interesting you mentioned dreams. 2 nights ago, I was in the kitchen, and I was making tea or something, and it was quite late, maybe 11:30 or 12 midnight, and I felt a presence, and it was a negative presence in the kitchen, and I was actually outside. I don't know why. I looked at the window, it was dark, right? My blinds weren't down, and I just felt a presence, and I go, oh goodness. So I pulled the blinds down, right? I told my girls, and I said, well, why do you think this happened? Like, what was happening? And I remember the day when I woke up in the morning and I looked at my hand and I said, wow, your hand is so beautiful. Your hand looks so beautiful. And I remember feeling a presence, but it was very close. And that presence was different. It wasn't full of fear. So I had to think of it. And I said, someone was with me in the kitchen. Someone was thinking of me. Either somebody that is afraid of me, afraid of something. Somebody's fear came to me and I didn't like it. And that's what got me to think. And I said, this is what manifestation is. We send thoughts. And if somebody is full of fear and they think of you, I believe that energy comes upon us, right? Because thoughts travel. So that person's thoughts, whoever that person was, traveled to me, and I felt the presence. I
Yeah.
don't know who the person was, because fear, you can't think, you can't focus, you don't know who it is, right? Thoughts, you don't know where they're coming from and where they're going, unless you think of that person and you say, huh, then you know that they're thinking of you. But this was interesting because it was really strong. I haven't felt it since, I haven't felt it before. And here's another thing that I realized is that when those things happen, something is about to come into your life. And I had a prospect, and she has been wanting to talk to me. And I said, that's it, I'm getting ready. If she starts saying anything, I'm going to say, stop right there. Like, I don't want to hear the problem. I don't want to.
I don't know if you guys are frozen. I'm frozen on this end.
Yeah, I can't hear her anymore.
Oh, I think she's gone.
Yeah, she froze up.
I am not the host.
She started talking about that negative thing and she froze up.
Yeah, that was pretty strong. I think she needs to let it go.
Yeah, gotta let it go.
Maybe let's come off and reconnect.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. I hope you can see me. So we got disconnected there. Don't know why, but I have a pretty good idea why. I think because we were going down the rabbit hole talking about negative stuff, and we were not supposed to go there. Okay, so imagine that. Well, don't imagine that, forget it. Okay, so I that was unexpected. That was unexpected. I just have to tell you that. Okay, so let's talk a little bit today about what I have written down, some of my thoughts when it comes to money, when it comes to inner dialogue. I want to focus on inner dialogue today, and why I have seen that inner dialogue manifests very, very quickly. And if there's anything that I can say about manifestation is that inner speech always wins. What does that mean? Well, when we hear people saying, "Oh, I manifested this and I manifested that," you can also call them what you received or what you won. Like, what are your wins? I know my coach says, "What are your wins?" Everybody at PGI, Proctor Gallagher Institute, they talk about winning. So inner talk always wins. If you ever ask yourself, well, how do I manifest? What's the quickest way, or what manifests the fastest or the easiest? It's inner conversation. Inner conversations are conversations you have with, for example, social media. I was telling my daughter yesterday, I said, did you know that Instagram is actually a business? Just like you want to have your business, Instagram is a business. I said many business owners, they want to spread their business on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube, everywhere. But those are businesses. You're doing business with another business. I said, you're not here to necessarily go all over social media just because everybody is. I said, you are actually doing business with another business, your business with the other business. And what are you receiving by doing business with another business? It's like B2B. What is Instagram doing for you? What is TikTok doing for you? But this is the conversation that we have. For example, we go on social media, and what I've noticed is this. If you really think about, well, what did I say yesterday when I was on social media? Or maybe this morning. I actually went on my phone this morning, and I have to break the habit, right? That's not a good habit to go on social media. And why is that? Well, I'll tell you why. When I put my Facebook this morning, I began to comment. I began to have a conversation with social media, the people on social media. Oh, look, this person is asking me to join their group. This person left me a message about join their group. And I'm reading through it, or I'm reading my perception. It's my perception of them or my perception of it. Oh, look, they've gotten so old. I remember I said this yesterday to myself, two of my friends back when, 15 years ago, and I said, oh my goodness, they both got so old. Well, I did too, right? But it's that initial, right? It's that first thought. And we're so unaware of what we're saying. See, that's a perception. That's, my mind goes to that event where I was working on my social media. Well, I was putting thumbnails on my YouTube videos. So I was going from Canva to YouTube. I was switching between pages. And at one point, what is her name? The singer, Katy Perry. I remember the day before. This is how inner conversation perpetually goes on and on and on until we stop it. But we don't stop it because it manifests. So the day before, I saw an image of her and somebody made a comment. And it said, oh, like, look how amazing she looks after giving birth. Now, that's me looking at my friends and saying, oh, look, they are getting old. Even though it's not written underneath their picture, it was my perception. It was the name that I gave that picture, that painting. And that's how we impress images in our subconscious mind. Like if I want to think of my friends in a different way, there is no other way, because that's what I've impressed. It's like we recycle those images and we put them in. What I knew about them before, it's gone. It's what I just said. It's a new perception. I've changed my perception, but we always have perceptions. So Katy Perry, the perception of that person was there. And guess what? I agreed with it. I said, yeah. I literally remember saying, she does look good. Like, yeah, I agree with you. And when two agree, me and this other person that put this perception underneath, it shall be so. Now, here's what happens. You go on social media, you look at your phone and you say, yeah, no, yep, no, yep, no. It's like we're doing business with the phone. I'm doing business with social media. We're in business with everyone, right? We're always exchanging energy. So Katy Perry, this is the next day. I'm doing all of this with YouTube and Canva. And I hear Katy Perry as if her radio's right here in my ear. And I hear her sing as loud and clear as just like she was singing here, right here. And I said, well, that's interesting. I'm in Canva. I'm switching back to YouTube to drop the thumbnail. And guess what happens? The first, there's ad in front of videos. It was Katy Perry singing the exact same thing. Now, why did all this happen? Obviously, God wanted to show me something. When you look at something, you look at your house, you look at your phone, you look at your social media, your business, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Any object, any physical matter, any person, you have an immediate impression. They call it first impression. So we're talking about impressing the subconscious mind. That's how easily it gets impressed. Just that easy. It stores an image with a name, with an impression, with a perception. And do you think I'm ever going to see my friends in any other light? No, because I stood there and I analyzed the picture and I go, oh my goodness, look at her. And it wasn't bad. I was just painting the picture. I was just saying what's in that picture, right? But other people could have focused on the background. Oh, look, they're in this place or they're doing this. No, I just focused and I began to be very detailed as to, oh my goodness, I remember how she used to be and look how she is now. That inner dialogue impresses itself in my subconscious mind. And will I ever see them any other way? No. So impression or inner dialogue, these agreements that we have. Oh yeah, I don't have that. That didn't come in yet. It's not here. We don't even say it's not here, because at least if we said it's not here, it's one thing. It's one thing to notice the problem and fix it. And it's another to have a perception or an impression and leave it at that, instead of correcting. So I thought about it this morning and I said, my name Luminita means illuminating. Luca means she who brings the light. And for the longest time in my life, I asked myself, well, what's my purpose? And in the vision of the night where I cleaned my daughter's room, I looked at her shoe, but I wanted to see the floor, right? You look at your bank account, you look at your money, you look at your house, but you want something different. You are light of yourself. We're all light, but light doesn't create. From my experience, light doesn't create. Think of a light, right? A car that sits in the woods, let's say, or in the dark down the street. There's no lights on the street, but you see a car with its lights just beaming on you. You cannot see what's behind the light. So the light removes what's in the back. It's almost as if it has a double whammo, like a double property. It puts the reflector on you and you can see who you are, but on behind it, you cannot see what it is. You don't know if it's a car, right? Is that a bike? Is that a flashlight? Is that a car, right? Think of it this way. It's like, I don't know, that light moved to the left, that one moved to the right. It is not a car. Maybe it's a truck. You can't see what's behind the light. So when I looked at my daughter's shoe in my visualization, I said, the floor is clean, the floor is clean, the floor is clean. Light began to appear like little lights. And it began to, where the light went, I couldn't see the dark shoe. And it began to fill up the whole shoe to the point where it disappeared and all I could see was the floor. So light, I think, has two properties. One, it shines the light upon what you want, and the other removes what you don't want. And that's who we are. So our purpose for existence as light, it's as if you're living in two worlds. It's interesting I'm saying this right now because we do, right? We live in two worlds simultaneously. And I think as light, our purpose for us is then to look at the problem, but also understand we have the solution already. It's not something you're seeking on the outside. Well, I don't know what to do. No, you do know. You're just too anxious because fear, right? It's a block. So light in itself, we can look at what's on social media. I can look at what's in my bank account, but that's on the outside. That's the problem. So how do I dissolve the problem? Speaking to it, right? Speak to the mountain and it will move. But we were not taught how to speak to the mountain. We say, mountain, go away. But the fact that you mentioned the mountain stays because you're calling forth. This is something I couldn't understand in church. What do you mean you talk to the mountain? Can somebody help me out? But nobody understood. So when we look at the problem, right? It's not about, you're looking at social media, you're looking at your bank account, you're looking at what is. And this is 3D. And we consider it a problem because now we want to improve our life, right? So you brought the problem, but you bring the solution. It's all in you because you're light, you have this double property. So it's not by looking at the problem and agreeing with it like I did, right? Oh yeah, she's good. Oh yeah, no, they look old. I just impressed something that now I have to renew. I have to change it. They don't care about it. I have to change it. Social media doesn't care about the fact that there's no client there, for example. Instagram doesn't care about me that I have a client or I don't. But I can tell social media what to do, right? My perception, that business, I can tell that business what to do for me, if that makes any sense, right? So we look at things either as a problem or as a solution, but it's in us and it's a choice that we make. So this is what I've noticed. We have these inner dialogues, which are nothing but perceptions or conclusions, and we store the image. And then it continues to happen. When? Tomorrow. It happens right away. Because the moment we speak, once you finish speaking, the universe begins. It means it begins the work. Because I finished the work, the universe now begins to do it in the physical. I came across this on TikTok. TikTok is my best friend. No, just kidding. But there was a post that came down and it said that the word abracadabra means I create as I speak. Or life, no. I create, or it's created as I speak. It's created as I speak, as I begin to speak. Now, it doesn't happen right away because a king must finish his law, his command, right? It doesn't happen right away. It happens the moment you finish, God says, let's begin. That's when it begins. I remember telling my daughter, clean your room. Well, I said, oh my goodness, for 6 months I've been battling with her. And I said, I know how to fix this. I said, that's it. I know how to fix it. The next day she said, that's it. I'm going to clean my room. Because when I decide, that was a parallel, it was happening, but not at the same time simultaneously. It's traveling first, right? It's sent, it travels, and then it falls on her head. So when I said this, the next day she said that. When I said, the floor is clean by looking at the shoe, she said, my room kind of smells. Well, she was in cross country and she had tennis shoes all over her room. So I'm sure that she probably looked at her shoe, although she doesn't remember. Why else would the room smell? Think of it. I looked at the shoe, she looked at the shoe. I said the floor is clean, she cleaned the room. So it was parallel. It was happening as if to say, I'm thinking, she's thinking. I decide, she decides. So inner dialogue in essence it's creative or it gives a command. Gary Cassis says, we are here to give commands. We are not here to stress and to fret. We are here to give the command to the universe. I heard a lady the other day saying, you need to demand for what you want. You need to demand it. You need to command it. And how do you demand and how do you command? That's it. Gary Cassie in his book, which is next to me here, well, there, he said his wife said, that's it, that's my car. That's it, that's what I want. That's it, God. You see that gun over there, right? He shoots deer and ducks and geese and stuff. You're like, that's it, that's the one I want. It's a choice. That's a demand. When you choose, you choose what happens to social media. You choose what happens to everything. And that's the ability we have, the choice of looking at the problem or the choice of looking at the solution. So if inner dialogue is the cause of our wins, what is it that we're thinking? Oh, she looks sad. Oh, this and that. And then you have to work on fixing that perception. So how can we fix it once and for all? You create a vision of your own, and it's like you mind your own business, if that makes any sense. Like, I'm going to mind my own business. Bob Proctor said, if you knew how difficult it is to change yourself, you would give up on trying to change everybody else. And it is so true. And this is something I need to write down personally right now, because see, that's the thing. In coaching, we're not here to change people, if that makes any sense. In coaching, we are here to lead, but not to change people. We're here to lead them by leading ourselves. So in any business, we're not here to fix people. We're leading them. For example, in the beauty industry, Miriam is in the beauty industry. She's not leading people into changing necessarily their lives, but leading them into the place of beauty, into the place of femininity, right? So you're taking them there, but you're not necessarily changing them. It's like you don't change people. They don't like to be changed, but they like to be led, or they like to see themselves in a different way. And as coaches, that's what we do, right? We see ourselves in a different way. Thus, we see other people in a different way. So we're not here to really change anybody, to change anybody's life. We're here to lead them. And I believe that if we would change our perception about that, then money would come in a different way. And I want to talk a little bit about money. We live in different states of mind when it comes to money. One is money's not here. Two is, why should I visualize? I know I struggle with I go from these, I could just go back and forth. I'm not stable in certain areas. Why should I visualize? And then I have to remind myself, oh, I know why I'm supposed to visualize, because the money is behind the vision. Like, it's hidden. It's right there. Money is hidden. You can't see it, right? God says that if you would see everything, right, you would blab it, you would talk about it, and the devil will come and steal it. Meaning fear, doubt, and worry would come and talk to you. So when it comes to money, money likes to be shown a place to go to. So by visualizing, as Sandy Gallagher at PGI says, I would see myself in the tub, eating in the kitchen, having my friends over, my family over. She said, the money is here. The money, and she kept looking down. I pay attention to people's behavior. The money is here. No, the money is here. Like, I know the house is on the paper and it exists somewhere. No, she said, the money is here. The money is here. Why? Because she was in the vision. She was there, meaning she already had the money. Because if you're in the house, the money has already come. Then you don't have to look for the money, right? You don't look for the money. But in the first day or the second day, I talked about the vision. The closer we close this gap between us and perceptions, us and that home, us and that vision, the quicker money manifests. I have had in the last 2 days, a lot of people asking me to be friends on Facebook. But that is not a coincidence. I remember having thoughts, throughout the day at different times in the past week, and I said, well, how come I don't have quality people asking me for friendships? And now I see quality people asking me for friendships. And I go, it does work, doesn't it? Inner dialogue. But before that, I would think about, oh, why is it that only, these people that just ask me, hey, how you doing all day? I'm like, I don't have time for, hey, how you doing? Like, I don't do that. I don't have time for that. Hey, a word here, how you doing here? Hey, again tomorrow. No. So can I have other people? And now I have only business people. I can do this for you. And I go, well, I'm not sure if I want that. Not a complaint, but I received something different because I focused on something different. So I'm speaking of inner dialogue and awareness. Like, what am I thinking? What am I thinking right now? What is my perception of where I am right now? When you wake up in the morning, what is your perception? When you move throughout the day, what is your perception? What are those thoughts? It's like they're sneaking up on us. And many times I go, oh. I would talk to my daughters and I would go, oh, I'm not going there. But what about those dialogues when we're not even aware? Because you can be aware. And how are you aware? Usually when you speak, you are aware. When you don't speak, you're not aware. So speech is very important. But I was also speaking on leadership, how to take the lead. And there's a program, I think, Earl Nightingale, Lead the Field. So how do we lead the field? In essence, how do you lead your life? I heard, his name is Warren. He wrote the book, Purpose Driven Life. And he said this morning, the hardest thing for us to do is to allow God or the universe to love us. So how do we lead our life? Do we speak things of that which we love or we don't? Like, to lead the life is to lead your speech in the direction of that which you want. Do I lead my life? Do I lead my thoughts? Do I push them forth? Because they create the path before me. I hope I'm not all over the place this morning. So there was another thought that came to me one day. This was many, many months ago. The light of day is actually the dark of the soul. So the day is the opposite of what we're thinking. While we're seeing it light, it's actually the dark of the soul, meaning it's your soul pushed out. It's your subconscious mind pushed out. It's your subconscious mind at work. And why am I saying that? Because what you see and say within, it manifests in the daylight. So what I'm saying is what we see during the day is what we have done within. So God said to me, the light of the day is actually the darkness of the soul. And I don't mean the darkness as in dark, but what you have done within when nobody sees, it will be shown in the light of day. And this morning I thought, but God, wait a minute. If light comes to erase, I said, isn't the light of day another opportunity to create something new? And he said, yes. Because the light of day also symbolizes that the light shines on the problem and it can dissolve it. So we have another opportunity today to create tomorrow, so to speak. So every now, not now and then, every now you have an opportunity to create something different. Because the light of day already erased all the problems from before. Carolyn Leaf, she is a psychologist, psychiatrist, a Christian psychologist, and she goes from church to church and she teaches what happens to the brain during depression, for example. And what she said is that God's mercy renews towards us every single morning. What she said is that every morning you have 300,000 new cells in the brain waiting for you to give them a command. Steve Harvey said this, your left brain and right brain, there are armies inside, people waiting for your command. Now, I know that the left brain has to do with imagination and the right brain has to do with thoughts. And alignment is thought, image, and speech. The three become one. That's your alignment, that's your power. So Depending on what you're looking at in the morning, you can be in your fretting mind and fear, or you can be in your visualization. And then you give a command to those armies, to those people, right? To those energies. Because thoughts are, or images are thoughts, or thoughts, no, images are thoughts and pictures. And then your words are your images and pictures. So Carolyn Leaf said that every morning we have 300,000 new cells. They're waiting for connections. They're waiting for something new to be impressed upon them. I thought that was interesting. Now, why am I saying all this? It's a matter of awareness and focus. And whatever I focus on, I always have a dialogue with it. Either I know it or I don't. I always have a dialogue with it. So how do I overcome all the negative dialogues that I have? I choose on purpose. I choose on purpose the purpose of the thing. I decide the purpose of a thing. I said that everything has a purpose. Now, Instagram has a purpose. Facebook has a purpose. I have a purpose. The hairs in my nose have a purpose. Everything has a purpose. But I can assign what Instagram can do for me. I can assign what Facebook does for me. I want to have a better quality of people to be my friends because I want to have different conversations. So I choose what Facebook gives to me. I choose what Instagram brings to me. I choose, right? Because it's the bad and the good in everything. But I choose the best of what the business that I have or my perception. So I live life on purpose, right? As Rick Warren says, a purpose-driven life, it's living life on purpose. Life is the tongue. I experience my speech, a purposeful speech. Living life on purpose, living is experience. Life is what you say. You experience what you say. So I choose to experience what I say on purpose, if that makes any sense. I can choose. I have the ability to choose what is what, and I assign purpose. What does that mean? You're bringing the best out of everything. I'm bringing the best out of Facebook. I'm bringing the best out of my friends. I'm bringing the best out of everything. We can assign a different role to things, right? Meaning I have a new perception of people and a new perception of things. But I have that ability to do it, to choose, because as a leader, you must bring the best out of everything. And that's where we can come on top of things and say, wait a minute, I'm above everything. I assign everything and everything's purpose. The centurion said, I am a man of authority because Caesar was above him. Well, I must be like Caesar then. And everyone underneath me, right? I assign the role and the purpose for everything. And what I say goes. Pretty much that's it. Because what we say does go and it happens. So there are 7 levels of awareness, and the 7th level is mastery of life, mastery of thought. So what that means is, can I master my thoughts? Can I tell my thoughts what to think about this? Can I assign the purpose that works for me? I assign perceptions that work for me. I don't go by what I see. I go above and I bring the best out of everything and everyone. That's what it means. The earth was put underneath my foot. I'm above and you're from below. Everything that was created is below. So I take control. In essence, it's a matter of taking control. And when you take control, obviously you tell everything what it is and what it was created for. You can say this is to dig flowers out of the ground, or you can say I'm going to write a book. But you decide the purpose for it. And what you decide, that's what it becomes. Dr. Joe Vitale said he took a pen and began to be grateful for it. He assigned it its purpose. And he said, that pen was the cause for all the books that I've written. Now, many people have the same pen in the hand, but they don't use it. To them, there is no purpose assigned. It's just like, I'm going to write a grocery list, but that's all we receive from this. So what am I receiving from people? My perceptions of it. This can write books and my name can go around the world, or I can just write grocery list of what I'm supposed to do tomorrow. I used to write 40 to 50 things on the list, and my list never ended because I didn't know how to create goals and achieve them. And in the physical, I had no time to finish the list. So I can assign whatever purpose I want to this, to social media, to Instagram, to my partner, to everything. But our purpose as light is to bring the best, is to shine the light on the darkness, right? Or on the problem, I should say, so it goes away. And then I bring the solutions into my life. My purpose is to bring solutions. It's like, you know. So take that in business, take that in money, take that when it comes to people. In the first day, I talked about blessing and releasing. How do you look at people? And I had a difficult time yesterday because I'm still working on it. And I was talking to my daughter and I said, I don't know about this. I said, this person. And she goes, well, Mom, why don't you take the pen and paper and write dot, 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 a bigger dot and a small dot. I said, well, what does that mean? She goes, don't put any thoughts there. I said, well, that sounds interesting. I said, because my perceptions are so negative of that person. Just write dot, 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 like nothing. She goes, nothing. Just write the word nothing. So, yeah, there are deep-rooted perceptions. And how can I change my perception? And why should I change my perception? Obviously, because I don't want that roadblock, that energy, that, you know. So I'm working. That's the work. That's the work that we must put in. Let me see if I wrote anything else in my notes. That's it. I want you to ask questions and share with me, maybe if you had any aha moments of what it is that you're thinking about, or I don't like this light, it's strong. How, what are you thinking? How are you thinking? What's going on? Changes that maybe have happened this week? Any aha moments or anything? Or ask questions. And if I can answer, I will. If not, we'll come up with answers together. So you can unmute yourself if you want. And gets me on a chance to drink too. So.
Hey everybody, it's Tina. So yeah, I think like my aha from not just this week, but from like all the lessons and from everything the last few months is that, like what you just said, Lumi, is that it's what the work is for everything. It's the same thing. So every time I want to like post a question or ask a question, it's like, Tina, you know what what you're supposed to do. The work is the same for everything. And so there could be different, ideas and ways to do them, but the actual work, it's the same thing. And so I just kind of laugh at myself throughout the day. I'm like, oh, I should ask about that. No, you know what to do. Okay, we know what to do. So I feel kind of silly sometimes. It's like, no, Tina, it's the same work. Creative process, same work.
It's exactly how I did with my coach. I rarely talk to my coach. And when I say rarely, maybe I talk to her once or twice, because while I'm in the sessions, during my coaching sessions, I just sit there and I listen to people and I go, yep, I know where she's at. Yep, I know why she's asking questions. Oh, yep, okay. Yeah. And I'm not analyzing or judging, but I'm thinking, And another thing is, what I've noticed is that someone else will ask the same question or similar to what I had. And I know my answers are going to be, or my questions are going to be answered through that session. And that's another thing. Like if I don't ask, I know somebody here will. And I'll receive my answer. And that happened all the time. It's like having this trust that there's a slice of bread in there for me.
Right.
Because you're setting an intention, and it's like your question itself, it's an intention. You're looking, and what you're looking for is looking for you. So you're going to receive it anyway. So, yeah.
So with that, I do have a question around. So let's say somebody let's say somebody or you believe, or somebody believes that like they've done the work, they've done the vision, they've seen it, they feel like they've been there, they've been there in the mind, they taking some things, and then is the answer that they just missed something, like, and it's like they're not seeing it still? Is it because like they missed something in the creative process, or they're still looking, there's the belief isn't there. Like how to find out, like what's the, like, I know I've done the work, I know I've seen it, I know I felt it, I've been there. Mm-hmm. But is it going to just a matter of the universe, like the timing? Like we don't know, like we say, we don't know when the baby's going to be born.
Okay, so I think what you're saying is that why is it that it hasn't manifested? If
yeah.
Okay. I'm in the same boat with you, because there's things that I feel the same way. Like, I know I've done the work, I felt it, it's there. Here's the thing. When you go from feeling it and knowing it, and then you start looking for it, so you go from, here's the thing, discontent activates desire. Discomfort activates desire. Comfort never activates desire. So if you're in comfort of where you are right now, that will never cause that. The comfort is not the cause of desire. Discomfort is the cause of desire. When I was in discomfort in the kitchen and I couldn't walk, that in itself, I mean, I was paralyzed by fear. Obviously, my nervous system got locked down. So when you're desperate, desperation causes desire. It's like, why is it that the human has to suffer so bad before they want something different? Why do we have to go through difficult relationships to the point where I say in 10 years, when I could have said in the first one, I had enough? Why is it that we're not sensitive enough and we need to be slapped around a couple of times? What am I saying? We desensitized ourselves. The discomfort causes desire. So discomfort comes from an image that you're looking at, a perception that you have. When you visualize, what you are doing is you're replacing or removing that discomfort, and you're replacing it not with comfort, but with relief. The relief that you already have it. In the moment that you go back to discomfort and say that's not here, you keep changing energy. You just keep looking at two pictures again. Here's what I have seen. When you have a strong desire, it's like, that's it, that's what I want. Let me put it this way. When you plant a seed, it doesn't shoot out of the ground right away. It sits there. You water it, you bring the sun, and it takes time to grow. So to grow is to visualize. That's the work. You're adding a little bit of water, you visualize it again, but you are going to get to a point when you're going to say, that's it, I had enough. That's it, somebody's going to call me today and get me a job. So we don't manifest in an instant, right? And I've noticed there's different ways to manifest. Like if I'm really at the source, I will ask the questions, and there's the van passing by me and it says 2 great sons. Well, how many kids does my future husband have? 2 great sons. It's like, right, I asked and it's right there. I mean, that's unusual, right? Where I'm thinking, I have an idea. My daughter says, this guy on YouTube just said, if you have an idea, just do this, create a website. And it was a website ad. And it's like, I said, I have an idea. The guy says, if you have an idea. Now, that's like instant. But not everything manifests like that. So visualization is going away from discomfort to the point where you know that you know that you know that you know. So why doesn't it manifest? Because you're not convinced that you have the thing that you have become aware of. And when you become aware of it, it's almost as if you're being tested. Are you going to go back to that old self? Are you going to go back to the old image? It's a distance, it's a journey. It's a spiritual journey. It's getting away from the old into the new. And it does have its own appointed hour. Remember, Neville talked about this too. And he said, when I went to my superior in the army and I filled out, I've done everything in the physical, right? I've done everything in the physical. Now, right, I must continue to do the work in the spiritual. I've applied for jobs where I've done what I know I need to do. That superior did not sign the paperwork right away. In fact, the next day it came dismissed. And I do believe that those are I do believe that those were his fears, Neville's fears. that had to manifest. I heard someone say, all thoughts manifest. A thought of fear manifests itself into another person. Here's what I want to say. It could be the same person, but it's the fear inside that person, or is the resistance inside that person. It's like this, my resistance in me is the resistance in him or her. My resistance towards the house is the house resistance towards me. So every thought of resistance has to manifest just as every thought of this or of desire. So it's like this. If you remember, Daniel was fasting and praying. And the angel said, I had to fight. I was coming to give you the answers, but I had another angel that I had to fight with. It was Daniel's thoughts. That's what it says. It's our thoughts. It's the negative and the positive. So why do things don't manifest as quickly? Because there's some negative thinking inside of us still. There's still a battle in the spirit. So if there's a battle in the spirit, obviously it's going to be a separation on the outside. So that's the work that we must do. That's why they say it's 98% mind work. Does that kind of help you not to stay where you're at, not to consume yourself, but to persist in the vision? Because Neville persisted for, I think, 9 days. And that's when it manifested. He even said the superior was resistant to my thoughts. And there are people that don't receive your thoughts. There are people that are very stubborn, or things, and it's like they're stubborn.
Yeah, no, thank you. No, that's perfect. Yeah, it's just that the experience in the past has been almost, if I could sum it quick, is when there are these big things related to survival. Like I've been able to do that work ahead of time, and then, like you said, like enough is enough, and then it just happens, it's done. And my dream, my hope is that I don't want to get to that place every time, like I don't want to have to be so in this place of, survival that's the only time that I really manifest the big things. Because I can manifest like the little things like you talk about, like all day long. But when it comes to these big things, it's almost like I have to be, oh my God, I'm going to die. Like I'm going to die if this doesn't happen. And my work that I'm working on with all your help is I don't want to have to be in that place, to manifest something quote unquote big.
I read this, and you can get Neville Goddard's Power of Awareness. And there's a story in there where an executive was struggling. He was of age and he couldn't be there, or he wanted more money. His kids, he wanted to send his kids to college. The company that he was working in wasn't giving him a raise. And because of his age, they were not investing in him to improve his skills. Neither they were willing to give him a raise. So he was caught in between this, he was caught in this reality. And Neville says it was his perceptions of himself. Perception is agreement. He was agreeing with the stigma that, I'm old, I don't get a raise. And when he went to his superiors, when he went to the CEO, they said, well, if you don't like this, you can just go and find another job. But those were his thoughts manifested. Neville says those were his perceptions manifest, his self-concept of himself. I'm too old. I'm sure they're not going to give me a raise. The energy behind everything you do, the energy behind the action that you put in. So what Neville suggested to him is that he goes from this image. He went to the bank wouldn't lend him money. So in essence, he was caught in this place of desperation, of survival, right? I'm fighting for my survival now. So Neville said, you need to do this treatment. And I wrote it down somewhere, but faith without works. And what Neville said there is that this man faithfully, this was early in December, he started faithfully every night to visualize himself coming into his room as if it was at the end of an important meeting that he just came from, of closing on a big deal, a big job. This was early in December, and early in February, 2 months later, this man was called by one of the largest companies in the world, in the financial industry, in the world, it says in the book, in the world, called him and gave him a high position in that company. Now, I'm sure that just didn't happen. I'm sure that he went out and he applied for jobs, right? But the work that he was supposed to do was, and Neville says there that he was faithful to do. Faithful to do. I like to pay attention to words, and I read over and over and over again. I pay attention to people's behaviors, words. I'm very detailed. So I read it again, and I read it again, and I read it again. It's like there's something here I'm not seeing it. Like, what am I saying? What am I supposed to say? I go, faith, and that's a key word. What is it attached to? I see. He was faithful to do the work. What did it say in the front of the sentence? Oh, visualization. Oh, I see. I got it. That's what that means. So he was faithful, and it took him more than 2 months, a little more than 2 months, for him to manifest himself out of a survival. So you must be faithful to do the work of visualization. I told my daughter yesterday, I said, when you change your visions at all times, it's like you're running after a lot of things. I run after a butterfly, I run after a fairy tale, I run after a unicorn. Keep the same vision. From my experience, okay, if I focus on one thing, that thing is not singled out of a reality. I'm not going to experience just that thing. Me looking at my toes in the water and lifting my white dress and looking at my toes. No. I was aware there was a man, there was a beach. I'm sure I've seen other people. So my visualization was the same not every single day. When I had that picture on the vision board with 2 people, it wasn't every day. I might have visualized it maybe 5-6 times in 5-6 weeks. Now, I do believe that the more we put focus on something, right? When I put my focus on that shoe and I said, the floor is clean, the floor is clean, repetition is key. The floor is clean, the floor is clean. What you're doing, you're sending these signals, these SOS, that resonance, that vibration in the universe. So that's what the work is. That's what being faithful to is. Just keep sending, keep persisting, keep sending that signal out, right? Until it responds, until you see movement. So if nothing is happening, obviously don't get discouraged, right? It could take 2 months, and it is true, as long as it will take. But the key here, obviously, what Neville impresses in his books and teachings is that do it faithfully. I bet you I could have been on the beach the next week, but I was on the beach 2 months later because I've only visualized 5 or 6 times. I've heard someone say, if you want to manifest a partner, visualize 10 times a day being with that partner. It's like, how bad do you want it?
Yep. Thank you.
Yeah. So let's persist. I would say let's persist. And I know it gets difficult. It's like, I have to talk again. I have to visualize again. That or fret again. And I'm talking to myself, actually. Because we all have things that we want to manifest. So some are bigger than the others. But I think our faithfulness, it's what's going to make it happen. And I wrote it yesterday, and I write many things. We receive by faith. That's what it says. You receive by faith. You received when you've seen it in the spirit. You received when you've seen it. Spiritually, you received it, but in the physical, you're not allowing yourself to. Because we're not allowing it because this comes against us. What is comes against us. And if this comes against, it pushes and holds this one up here. So I must push this away by making room, right, for this energy, for this image to come in. So the work is to persist here, not here. Like persist here, but not here. And the more I persist here, I'm pushing it down. And how do we push it? By affirming. The floor is clean, the floor is clean, the house is here. I'm in the house is here. Keep saying it. That negative thought's gonna say, no, you're not. No, you're not happy. You're still sad. Look at your body. I'm like, yeah, I know. You're asking me to look at this image. I don't want to. I'm going to persist. I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm happy. It's like a fight of, it's a fight. So what are you faithful to? As I said the other day, and this, see, we have to remind ourselves or soothe ourselves, Abraham Hicks talks about. Remind yourself, who am I faithful to? 4D or 3D? In whose camp am I fighting with? Like, in which camp am I in? Sometimes it gets to be like that. You have to remind yourself of that. You're not always going to be on the clouds, or you're just going to see, unicorns flying. Sometimes it's a battle until you make up your mind, decision, and say, that's it. Something's got to happen. That's it. I had enough. That's it. Your luggage, you're not going to tell me what's what and who's what and what I am and what I've done and what I should have done. Nope. Wait a minute. What's going on over here? Nope. You think I'm taking stuff out of you? No, sorry, excuse me. I'm not. I'm putting money in it. I'm putting money in it. Where did that come from? I'm putting things in you and we're going on another trip. I have no idea where that came from. I was going to say money again. I'm putting things in you and we're going on another trip. See, that's given a command. No, I tell you what's going to happen. I prophesy. I dictate. I strategize. I command. It's the same thing. I say what's going to happen. What I say, it becomes so. I tell this man to go and he goes. I tell this one come and he comes. That's it. That's what's going to happen. It's you're speaking to your thoughts. You put them back in place. People say you're not your thoughts. That's when you're a master. You're above your thoughts. You tell them where to go. You tell this one where to go. You tell that what to happen. And that's when it manifested. For me, that's when it manifested. That very hour, the guy friend calls me up and says, how are you doing? And I said, I'm good. I'm excited. I go, let's do something spontaneous. Because my vibration was up here. It was in alignment with my desire where I said, I'm going to go. I'm going on the beach. I'm going on the beach. That's it. Had enough. Something had to happen in the universe. The person had to come. I attracted fast. And he says, I love to go to the beach. Would you like to go to the beach? Literally, I had my phone and I go, I'm not hearing well. Like I said, wait, what? I would like to buy myself a house in Greece, and I love the water and the sounds. And he just kept talking and talking about the water and the ocean and the sounds. I'm like, this is real. Yes, I would love to go to the beach. Are you kidding me? I'm looking at my luggage and I go, this just happened that very hour. Yeah. When you take control over those thoughts and you tell them where to go, things happen. So that's where we want to get to that place. I hope this helps. It helps me because it reminds me now. You have to, it's called the law of the harvest. The law of the harvest. The law of the sickle. The sickle, you go and cut. When you say, that's it, I had enough. That's it, that's got to come. That's using the law of the sickle. You go and cut the harvest and say, that's it, my house has got to be here. That's it, I'm going to the beach. Like, whammo. I am not pouring water. I am not watering. I'm not visualizing anymore. That's it. Time to cut the harvest. Bob Proctor talks about it as decision. I know I talk about it in my program too. But there's going to come a time when you're going to say, that's it. That is it. What is it? My laser. That's my thing. Focus. That's it. I had someone ask me yesterday, well, what if I focus on this and then I change my mind and I see something better? I said, well, you're not going to receive anything. You've got to know what it is you want. I'm talking to myself. I can feel like I'm slapping myself left and right this morning. Like, how long, Luminita, are you going to play around with that? I don't know, maybe, no. My daughter said to me yesterday, are you going to stop playing with houses in your mind? Are you just going to decide and just make a decision and point to it and stick with it? My kids put me in my own place. So it's also a matter of decision. It's a matter of this is it and nothing else. And if you start with that, your mind's made up, then with that determination, right, that discipline, that commitment, you press through. It's about pressing through from one image to another. And these states of being exist. The survival that you're in exists. The abundance exists. How do I fill my consciousness with these thoughts of having it? I already have it. No, you don't. Yes, I have it. Yes, I have it. Yes, I have it. When? Mark 11:24. When I have seen it, I received it. It's knowing the truth and using it. I'm talking to myself. Okay, anybody else wants to ask or anything to add? No. We need to stop allowing the negative thoughts to steal from us. Yeah. Yeah. Tell this one where to go, and it has to go. How do I know what is my purpose? Your purpose is just like mine. Purpose-driven life. What is the purpose of the hairs in the nose? To keep away the dust and flies and bugs and whatnot, right? Kids, however, they take a stick and they put it up there. But your purpose, what's the meaning? This is a tool. You are a tool. Money is a tool. And what do you do with yourself as a tool? What are you used for? What do people know you by? What would you like people to know you by? When I started my massage business, I was in between the massage business because I've done massages for a while. I've done quite a few things. So I had my massage business, and I had friends in the financial industry. They pulled me in the financial industry, and they said, do you want to be recognized by rubbing people's backs or making people money? Well, that was a tough decision to make. Do you want to be known for that? They said, do you want to be known for rubbing people's backs and putting them to sleep? I said, well, that doesn't sound too bad, but do you really want to carry that massage table with you everywhere you go? Yeah, that's kind of hard. All right, I'll jump into finances. Well, that was a hotter pot. I'm talking about people's money now. So it's asking yourself, what do I want to be used? And used obviously is not abused, but what do I want people to know me by? What do I feel good doing? What do I think about most of the time? I was a very spiritual person since I was a little girl. That was my comfort. That was my territory. That was my nature and teacher. So this is my nature. This is who I am. Someone said to me, can you see yourself as the Queen of England or a basketball player? I said, it never even entered my mind. It never even entered. It never even came to my awareness. So what are you aware of all the time about you? Where do you spend the most of your time? Dr. Miles Monroe, my first mentor, said, your purpose is discovered to you by the age of 14. And I said, yes, I know. At 14, 15, I was teaching my brothers and sisters English and church, two things. So your purpose is what you speak the most, and what you speak the most, you create the most. So we are all here to create. So what do you want to keep creating? For me, I like to bring out the best of people and to bring the vision out. Because most of my life, I lived without a vision, without a goal, without love. And now I love myself. I do what I love, and I bring the best out of people. I help people change one thought at a time. You always receive downloads. So how do I know what is the voice within me? You always mention you receive downloads and you write them down. In the church, I used to hear this a lot and it was frustrating, so I understand what you're saying. And I understand I don't put the church down in any way. But God spoke to me last night. He's not talking to me. I must be a bad person. Something's wrong with me. I just received the word from the Lord. I don't receive anything. What's wrong with me? How come they do? I see words just coming across my mind and I can see them. Well, how come I don't? So here's something to help you out. Everything you think about, it's a download. But you will begin to discern. There's a gift. You have to. That gift is within you. You need to unlock it to discern what is of God and what is not. Meaning, what is 3D and what is 4D? What does God say about this problem? What do you say about this problem? So you will know what's downloaded based on what you speak. Everything is a download because you are a vessel and you receive through the 5 senses. Bob Proctor talks about it. Up to the age of 7, your subconscious mind is open, it receives everything. After that, you begin to select. So right now, whatever you're speaking is because you have allowed it already to come through. It has already been downloaded. And the mouth speaks from the abundance of the heart. What your consciousness and your subconscious is filled with, you can see it in your mouth. Your purpose is then to pay attention to what you're saying and say, am I speaking of 3D or 4D? Because our purpose as manifestors, as leaders, as visionaries, is to bring the 4D here. That's your purpose for existence. Bring your solution in your problem, in your family, in your business, in your community, in the world. Bring the solution, be the solution, whatever the solution you want to be. But the solution for everybody is to, or the purpose for everybody is to bring solutions where they're at, right? Start in your own home. A victim is a state of mind. And I was a victim because I thought everybody was stronger than I was. And then when I realized, here's what happens. In your weakest moment, when everything crumbles outside and inside, the same people that you looked up to, they're going to come and tell you, it's okay, you can do it, you're strong. You know what? You're going to see through those words, they're just shadows. I've seen them. You're afraid of shadows. They're just shadows. The same people that I put on a pedestal, when I was broken in and out, they would say, you can do it. And I go, it just flamed by me. It was like you, I was intimidated by you. And like, we have no idea, as Neville says too, people are shadows. We're afraid of shadows. So you're a victim of shadows. I was just going to be honest with you. And if we take that to heart, we will realize that it's just nobody's stronger. And when you say you're a victim, it's because you do not know your power. So you have power, you're not directing it. And that's what I talked about. I would learn how to direct it, and you tell things where to go. Oh, look at you. Oh, you can't do anything. You say, wait a minute. You can't sing in the choir. Wait a minute. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. For a whole week, I practiced singing in front of the whole church, which I never done before. You can't sing in my choir. Wait a minute. Yes, I am. You watch me. My mother didn't like me because I was always stubborn. But I was manifesting since I was young. She doesn't know the things I said and I saw them happen because I wasn't unaware. Nobody told me, but I would say things and they would happen around me, like literally. And I was unaware. I didn't know that people don't do that, or it was just like, and it was that type of stubbornness that I had. Wait a minute. No. And I'd sing in the choir and I would get things done. When the communism went down and we received aid from outside, 99% of the clothes in the boxes were for me. And I looked at my mother and I said, I feel so bad. I have 8 brothers under me and none of these clothes fit them. How did this happen? Why me? I felt there was a favor upon me, but I was also very stubborn. So you need to be stubborn against everything that you hear on the outside. You don't fight with flesh, you fight with spirit. So what you hear, remember, is just a shadow. You're fighting with spirit or words you hear. So it's a matter of sometimes you have to fight against those things. It's like, wait a minute, what do you mean I'm taking things out of you and I should have put you in the closet? Wait a minute. Your purpose is to go on a trip. Your bank account, your purpose is to have money. I heard John Assaraf say in a clip, we're not asking the right questions. Can I afford this house? Can I do this? No, no, no. Is that house worthy of me? Because I'm trading my life, I'm trading my energy, my thoughts, my neurons to visualize for that house. And here's what I saw behind what John Assaraf said. That house is the creation of another human being. How can I ask the creation if it can accept me when it was created by a creator? I look at the thing created and I say, would you love me? Wait a minute. I tell you who you are, right? Wait a minute. Are you worth me trading my energy and thoughts and visualizations for? And that kind of shook me up. It's like, wait a minute. So, yeah. Take the word hard out of your vocabulary. I know we talked about this before, and there were some other words that you had to eliminate.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
So recently I've experienced a bit of a positive switch in my business, and like the flow is coming in. And what I learn is it's something about myself. So when a client comes in, or because people are coming, a lot of people are coming, and they ask me about my pricing, I freeze. And I've been thinking about why I freeze. I know the answer of how to unfreeze, but and just let them know. But I realized that it was something that I was doing, not just recently, but for years. Is it coming from confidence? And because I feel like I believe that my value is very high. And I think I don't want to say certain words because, like what you just said, it's words that I'm taking out of the vocabulary, right? But I feel like I hear the voice of what my prices should be, but I'm afraid of the client saying, I can't afford that. But I know you need it, and this is my value. So I have been lowering my prices over the last, I would say, 4 or 5 years. And now I'm in a place where I'm thinking, because I work from home, my prices should be lower, or because I'm in this situation, my price should be lower. So when it comes to sales, I am very good at selling the product, but I want to learn how to say my prices in confidence, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. Okay. So remember I said yesterday, God dealt with me about this, but I forget it too all the time. He said, Luminita, I've been telling you through Gary Cassie to raise your prices. Why don't you do it? Like, well, the people don't have the money. He said, as long as you look at the people, you can't look at me, meaning your desire. You can't look at two things you put your hands on this fence and that fence, or I hold this bird, but I'm going to hold on to that one on the fence too. In essence, you can't look at two images at the same time. So God dealt with me about this. But here's the solution. When you look at the people, obviously you say, but people have no money, and I've seen this, and you're taking in consideration, you're putting so many conditions as to why you shouldn't hold those prices there. Now, this sounds good as I say it, but I know the difficulty inside. And the difficulty comes from putting so much energy in what is and not so much on my worth. In essence, wait a minute. Can she do her own lashes? No. I practice this. I'm a master. Versace, and I don't know if they lower prices, but Tiffany never had a sale. What is it? Louis Vuitton, they never have sales. Why is it? What's different? It's the mentality, it's the consciousness. What does that mean? It means that I think of my product, of my skill, as the best in the world. There's no comparison. So God said to me, you need to look at what I've given you as my wisdom. It's not yours. You're just a vessel. Your word is my word, because the word is God. So when you look at the people and you say, but they don't have any money, he says, I already know the problem. You're there to bring solution. Have you forgotten? You are there to bring solution. You're there. You're the light. You're there to look at the problem, right? But the double whammy is that I bring the solution. So the things, here's the thing. That's why everything is energy. Here's proof. I want to, my prices are high, but whatever you finished with, that's where you begin. That's self-sabotage. You don't love yourself. It's fear mixed with love. You're looking at here and you're looking at there. That's self-sabotage, double-mindedness. So, or you can be procrastinating and fall into fear completely. The solution is freedom, which is love. I love my product. It's God's gift to me. It's my mastery. It's what I was called to do. Abraham calls it soothing. I called it building up. Build yourself up. Right? So that's something I have to do. So thank you for that question. But
Hello?
Hey, I think we may need to sign out and probably sign back in because Luminita's Wi-Fi
Okay.
is freezing. So let's just sign out.
So we got disconnected. So what you're recommending is for us to log out and re-log in?
Yeah, log back in because she's probably trying to open it, like reopen the chat.
Okay, so do we stick around or?
Let's leave the meeting and come back in.
Thanks, Maria.
You're welcome.